Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video via social media and with your friends via email. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Go Banking Rates and written by Yael Buzziati-Kennedy, titled, "Tighter Budgets and Tip Fatigue Have Led 62% to Forego the Practice This Holiday Season. Where Else Americans Are Cutting Back." According to the author, a new Achieve survey found a whopping 62% of consumers do not plan to give holiday tips or gifts for service workers, nor do they plan on making charitable donations to religious institutions or other charities this holiday season. The author goes on to say the growing number of tip requests is especially prevalent with establishments that have started to use new touchscreen payment terminals. The author quotes Andrew Hauser, co-CEO and co-founder of Achieve, as saying, "Consumers are balking on requests for tips on every single purchase, even on very small in-person ones, and find it very annoying." Well, ladies and gentlemen, I get it. I see these tip lines on screens everywhere. When I go to a restaurant where you pick up your food and tray at a counter, all the person did was take my order and then place my burger and drink on the plastic tray. Why would I tip someone for just taking my order? Isn't that the person's job? To me, it's a little different than dining at a sit-down restaurant where a server is taking your order, bringing you drinks, bringing your food, making sure your food was prepared correctly, cleaning off your table as you are done with different portions of the meal, and then taking your method of payment at the end of the meal. I just feel like this is a different level of service that warrants a tip. Just taking my order at a counter and putting my food on a plastic tray is totally different in my mind. But hey, people tip their bartender, who in some cases just opens the cap on a bottle and hands it to you. Maybe I'm just too old and out of touch with how things work in society today. I wonder what is next. When I email someone and the person writes me back, will I get a tip request at the bottom of the email? I mean, how different is that than putting my cup of water and sandwich on a plastic tray at a counter? Responding to an email may take even more effort when you think about it. I realize that some people rely on tips for their livelihood, like restaurant servers and bartenders. I'm not opposed to tipping them what they deserve based on their level of quality service. I am opposed to tip lines on every screen when the human interaction is very limited. Getting back to the article, I want to share with you the most interesting part relating to why people are foregoing the practice of tipping this holiday season. According to Andrew Hauser, the persistent inflation we have seen over the past year, combined with the resumption of student loan debt payments, has put many consumers over the edge when it comes to personal finances and debt. Well, I found this to be very interesting. It surprised me because many people swipe their credit cards like they are Bill Gates and spend freely and tip generously because it isn't as real as having to count out dollar bills from your wallet or purse. Some don't worry about the purchases they are making with their credit card because it's only money and you can always just roll over the debt to the next month if you need to. Enjoy today because tomorrow is never guaranteed. You might as well spend it and enjoy it. Now, I'm being a little sarcastic here, but that is how some people think when using credit cards. I found it interesting that Andrew Hauser mentioned student loan payments resuming. I knew we were going to start hearing about this impacting everyday American consumers sooner or later. I think the financial pain that some Americans are feeling because of their student loan payments resuming is just getting started. Some people need to make these payments for 20 years. Think about young people who just graduated from college in the past 3.5 years. Student loans were on pause for the past 3.5 years. These young people never experienced what it is like to make a large monthly student loan payment month after month after month until now. I am sure life is going to get very real for some of these young people. I have no doubt this is going to impact some of their discretionary spending. But perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe some will just swipe their credit cards and keep on spending. That's the American way. We once were the land of the free and the home of the brave. And now we are the land of the credit card and the home of the heavily indebted. In addition to credit cards, there is something new and exciting being offered by the buy now, pay later company Affirm. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance put out by TechCrunch and written by Christine Hall titled, "Affirm's head of product discusses its new approach to buy now, pay later." According to the author, Affirm is offering the Affirm Card, a debit card which provides consumers with the flexibility to pay upfront or request to pay over time via the Affirm app. Consumers request the payment plan for eligible purchases before checking out, or can link their bank account to pay with the Affirm Card by using the app. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Buy now, pay later is in the form of a debit card and being offered by Affirm. I saw Affirm being offered on Amazon. It's crazy to me that people will buy something that costs as little as $50 with a buy now, pay later service like Affirm. I'm not trying to bash Affirm. I'm sure they are making a mountain of money, and I'm sure they are providing a service that is important to some people. I would simply never use buy now, pay later services. If I can't afford it, I don't buy it. The only exception to this is if I'm using someone else's money to purchase an asset that is going to provide me with a financial return. I would never use someone else's money to purchase plastic junk or a shopping cart full of toilet paper, paper towels, and junk food at the grocery store. Many everyday people are using buy now, pay later services at the grocery store these days. It is unbelievable to me. My heart goes out to those who are struggling financially to the point where this is the only way they can pay for their groceries. I hope they are able to find a way out of their current financial situation so they can have more financial security and a better way of life. I know taking on debt is never the answer unless that debt is being used to buy assets that provide a financial return. Even then, there are calculated risks involved. Perhaps some people are using buy now, pay later services because most of their money is going to housing. I read an article today on thefool.com written by Chris Niger titled, "Gen Z spends 37% of their income on housing. Here's why that's a bad idea." According to the author, the median annual income for Generation Z is $38,325, and rent prices in the suburbs are up 25.8% over the past few years. The author goes on to indicate recent data from McKinsey shows members of Generation Z, those under 25, spend 37.3% of their income on housing. That's higher than the maximum 30% of income most experts recommend spending on housing. But it's not the younger generation's fault for overspending on housing. The average home price jumped 27.7% over the past 3 years and is now a staggering $431,000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, many of these young Gen Zers also have student loans to pay in addition to paying for expensive housing. You can start to understand why some are relying heavily on credit cards and buy now, pay later services. Some may simply be kicking the can down the road. This may not be a good long-term solution to their financial struggles. I know what it is like to live on less than $38,325 per year. Of course, that was decades ago. Right after I finished my master's degree, I got a job teaching high school, and my starting salary was approximately $29,000 per year, and I was paid more than teachers with just a bachelor's degree. I worked this job to fund my Ph.D. that I was pursuing at night. I couldn't believe how little I was earning back then. I had to pinch pennies. I had to find a way to bring in more income. I eventually bought my first rental property, and then I purchased a primary residence and moved 3 of my friends in, who all paid me rent. I was able to pretty much live in my primary residence for free. The rent my friends paid covered my mortgage, and we split up utilities 4 ways. I had cash flow coming in from my first rental property, and my housing was taken care of courtesy of my 3 roommates. Young people who are struggling with the high cost of housing may need to get very creative like I did. Either that, or they may need to increase their income. I eventually did that as well when I started mowing lawns early in the morning before work, mulching properties, and doing pressure washing. I had a lot more energy back then, but I was determined to make the best of my situation by living as cheap as I could and by bringing in as much additional income beyond what I was earning at my teaching job. Do you know any young Gen Zers who are struggling right now? Do you know some who are living at home because of the high cost of housing? If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. Please keep in mind, nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video via social media or via email with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.